Well, hello and welcome. I am Aaron, the host of the Cascadian Beer Podcast, along with Joe Wiebe, the thirsty writer from the Bcl Trail. Welcome to AleFest.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is going to be a lot of fun tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so sorry, there's always a little technical hiccup when I'm trying to do these joint Facebook things, so it looks like we're getting everybody on, so this is great. Hopefully you got your taster pack ready to go. And yeah, pop some questions in the chat. Joe and I are here live. Yeah, look at that. Look at it. Yeah. My box, got the box empty as well, because they're all they're all on ice next to me here, so.
Yeah.
So pop some questions in the chat. We're gonna be answering them and whatnot. Hey Tyson, how you doing? And we have a lot of beer to get through tonight.
Yeah, we got a lot of. But we're not going to drink all, Aaron, right?
No. We're not going to be drinking all the beer. I'm gonna open most of them, but I mean, you at home, go at your own pace. If you have friends, that's better. But yeah, I mean, pick some beers that you're interested in. But we are going to be hearing stories from all the breweries as well. So
yeah, we got 8 different beers. So if you're all alone, maybe just pick a few of them and save the others for later. But if you've got a group there, that's perfect. So enjoy them with your bubble, and we'll have a really fun time tonight. There's some amazing looking beers. I actually got to taste one last night already because I did a virtual preview last night. So I've already broken into this box. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah. This is gonna be my first time. I haven't tried any of these, so it's gonna be first time for me. And shout out to Adam. He's got a 3 Ranges shirt on there, so they're one of the breweries that is going to be on the stream a little bit later.
Nice.
Welcome. This is the Kiwanis AleFest. I mean, I would love to be up in Prince George. Joe, I bet you would too.
I've never been up there, and believe me, it's on my list. I'm hoping once this pandemic opens things up again, I might try to do a big road trip up there and check
big Bcl Trail road trip. Yeah, that's
exactly. Yeah, I've been hearing great things about all the breweries. Obviously we have our Northern Ale Trail on the Bcl Trail, which covers all the breweries from Prince Rupert, from Wheelhouse and Prince Rupert across the 3 Ranges and Valemount. So I've definitely seen the pictures and the videos and talked to all those breweries, and I'd love to get up there. You've been up there, right?
Oh yeah, no, I was up there 2 summers ago. Absolutely loved it. I'm excited to be hosting this because love all the northern breweries, but this isn't just us about drinking beer and having a good time. This is actually a fundraiser as well.
That's right.
And we're raising money for Ronald Mcdonald House as well. The sales from the taster packs, if you picked them up, some of that's going towards, but we can always use some more donations as well. In fact, if we look here on the, this is the actual donation page here, we're at 9% of our goal, and I think we could be doing a lot better than that. So if you're on the Kiwanis AleFest website, there's the link right there to click the donate button, or I've made it even easier for you to donate at home. I made a short link, cascadian.beer/RMDH.
That's great.
Any amount that you can share, let's reach this goal and help support Ronald McDonald House, who we will also be hearing from later in the show tonight.
That's awesome. Yeah, and the Kiwanis AleFest obviously could not go on this year, but we'll hear more from the organizers about how they pivoted to put together this pack, and it's a pretty amazing story. It's really really great initiative of what they've been able to do here.
How about we find out about that? But first, I think we should just open a beer because I think everybody is really excited.
I'm thirsty. So I think we're going to start off with the Sherwood Mountain Fierabend Kolsch. I don't know what Fierabend means actually in terms of this name, but
yeah.
Oh, it says on here, pronounced Fierabend. I didn't even read that. Right on the label, it says pronounced Fierabend, the time of day when work is done and leisure begins with a cold pint of this German-style ale.
That sounds like this time of day.
Exactly. Oh, you know what it is? I realize now. I know German. It's Feierabend. Feierabend. Ah, now I get it. I was looking at it totally with an un-German eye. There you go. Okay. Awesome. So we're going to crack this one open?
Yeah, cracking this one open now. I am big against blasphemy, and so I have a wide selection of glasses over here. We have a Wheelhouse beer coming up, so I have a nice Wheelhouse pint here.
Nice.
Got Barkerville as well, so I got a Barkerville
mustache. Right on.
Got Iron Road. They were part of the collab, so I got an Iron Road one. Here we go. But to start things off, my favorite glass. This I have a huge cupboard of different beer glasses. This is my favorite one. This is a hand blown pint glass, and that's Mount Baker in the bottom of it there.
Oh, cool. Right on.
So
neat. Oh, that's awesome. Right on. Well, come on, pour your beer. I'm thirsty. I don't want to start with it.
I'm pouring this beer. Here, look at that. Beautiful. Look at that.
Cheers.
Cheers. All
right.
All right. Well, let's find out more about AleFest and what we're going to be doing tonight, and we'll come back and we'll talk about this beer.
Perfect.
All right, joining me now from Prince George, it is our organizers of this fine event. It's Jamie and Bailey. Hey.
Hey. Thanks for having us.
Hey. So, Jamie, let's start with you. Basically, what's the history of this event, and how long has it been running for?
AleFest started back in 2015, where we host an annual beer festival the last week of January every year. It's a 3-day event where we have a cask weekend, we have the beer festival, obviously, and then brewmaster dinners as well.
And so, Bailey, what's the big difference this year? Like, why are we doing it this way? That's the question.
Unfortunately, we kind of became apparent to us in the spring that due to the pandemic, you can't really hold large events. So we still wanted to bring a little bit of AleFest to everybody at home. So instead of everybody packing into the Two Rivers Art Gallery to celebrate together, unfortunately, everyone gets to celebrate from their couch and still have a little bit of AleFest. So you have a pack of craft beer to enjoy at home.
Yeah. So how did this pack come about? What was the main driver behind this?
Back in the spring, like Bailey said, we knew we couldn't move forward. So we wanted to try to think a little bit outside of the box and see how we can make that work, and just started chatting with the local breweries kind of around the north, not super local, but around the north, local to us, and said, hey, we think this would be really cool. Would you guys be up for it? And they're all so supportive, and while they might have had their doubts at times, they're just so willing to kind of jump in and do anything to help us when we ask.
So how many beers are in this pack?
So there is 8 beers in the pack. So we do have actually 9 breweries that are involved. 7 breweries kind of did their own beer, and then we have one super fun collaboration beer that's beered between Smithers Brewing, Iron Road, and Mighty Peace.
And is like a collaboration kind of a normal thing for this festival as well, or is this kind of a first-time thing?
This is a first-time thing. I don't think we've had
this is a first thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. And so this is a fundraiser. So where is the money going, and how does that help support the community?
The money, a large portion of the money is going to the Ronald McDonald House. Kiwanis every year supports a room for families in the north. If they're traveling there, they can have somewhere to stay. And then the other proceeds will be going to children's charities in the north.
All right, great. And is there any because the money from these packs, are going towards that. Is there any other way that people can donate if they want to give a little extra to this? Because obviously the income is still not the same as if the actual festival was on, right?
Yeah, for sure. So if people actually want to donate a few extra bucks, they can check out our website, KiwanisAleFest.ca. So we do actually have a link there that you can donate directly to the Ronald McDonald House for our room for Northern BC families to use. And you even get a tax receipt for it.
All right, cool. Anything else we should know about as we get underway here for tonight's event?
We created a free Apple and Spotify playlist that people can download. They can go to our webpage, which is just KiwanisAleFest.ca. The playlist comes from all the breweries, so it's music that they play either in-house or while brewing. It is a 19 plus playlist, and if they'd like to see which brewery included which songs, that's also listed on the playlist as well. So we're just trying to make it so that when you come home, you can actually feel like you're at the event. You'll be able to follow along with your podcast, which is super fun. You'll be able to listen to the music and enjoy some great beers.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. And hey, let's hope for next year we can do this again in person up north. So
yeah, that would be amazing. You'll have to come up, Aaron.
Oh, yes. All right. Welcome. AleFest time underway. So yeah, thanks to Jamie and Bailey for organizing this, and everybody else behind the scenes as well. So yeah, this was, you're used to doing the same thing every year, and then pivot time. So
exactly. How do you like this beer?
I'm loving this beer. It's a great beer to start with. Let us know what you think of the beer in the chat. Have to say hi to Jody here, who's tuned in. Also,
say hi to Leslie, my friend Leslie and Courtney. She couldn't get the beer, but she's tuning in anyway. That's great.
Yeah.
Listen, I was gonna talk a little bit about this brewery. What do you think? Is that a good time now, Aaron?
Oh yeah, but I actually have a clip from the brewery. So unfortunately, I have tons of interviews with breweries tonight, but unfortunately didn't get connected with Sherwood in time. But I did talk to Sherwood Mountain for my episode. For my podcast, the Cascadian Beer Podcast. So here's just a quick clip, and then let's talk about this beer some more.
Daryl Tucker, and the owner of Sherwood Mountain Brewhouse and brewmaster, quote unquote.
All right. And how long you been open for?
We opened December 19th of 2014, so a week before Christmas.
Right.
Good time to open a brewery if you want to go in with a big pow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And where are we? Where are we located in the province?
We're in the northwest part of the province, Terrace, BC.
Yeah, right on Highway 16, right?
Right on Highway 16.
Yeah.
It's a Yellowhead Highway and takes you right into Rupert, and from there you can hit the island, Haida or go to Alaska.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful drive coming out. I drove in from Smithers today.
That whole drive from Prince George to the Prince Rupert, the highlight is Smithers to Prince Rupert in my mind.
Yeah, beautiful. So how did beer find you?
Beer found me in a midlife crisis. I was 44 years old and had just had a good run with a local airline company as a marketing director and business development guy, and looking for something different. And my partner and friend said, well, why don't you be a brewmaster? And I said, what the heck's a brewmaster? I don't know what a brewmaster is. I just drink beer.
Yeah.
From that, I just decided to, look into it. I had a bit of an online brochure from the VLB, which is a school in Berlin, and did some research, and it resonated with me. I know beer is a lot like cooking, making something. So I enjoy cooking. And I enjoyed beer. And then, of course, the other side of beer is you have to sell it and market it and put on events. So kind of that's sort of been my history.
Right.
So it seemed like it seemed to have a good fit for me. Plus, I had the opportunity, if I made the thing go to live in Europe, in Berlin for 6 months, and I didn't have any kids or a wife. So if it didn't work out, it was just me that was gonna bomb.
Yeah.
So I went for it.
Yeah. So you went over to Germany?
Yep. I had to get a couple of years of. I don't have a home brewing background or anything like that.
Yeah.
Business, and I was looking for an idea, and like I say, it resonated. So I went to Ontario a few summers back and forth from Terrace in the van, and learned the nuts and bolts of brewing at Lake of Bays Brewing Company under a couple of good friends now and mentors. And from that, once I got the experience and it still worked out, I got accepted into the VLB in Berlin and made the trip over there. I think it was 2013 I was there for that year.
And where does the name Sherwood Mountain come from?
Well, Sherwood Mountain is a bit of a story to itself. Basically, my last name Tucker. So for a long time, I've been called Tuck, and of course, Friar Tuck had come into my world over the years growing up. And but the truth was, we were in London after schooling of Berlin that I spoke about, and Parker came to visit me, and we went over and traveled around Europe a bit. And on the way out, we stopped in London, and we went to a theatrical production called Wicked, and it's the story of the Wicked Witch and how her story was wrongly portrayed, and that show went on about that, and it got us thinking. And I was Sherwood, and so it was Sherwood. The friar, he has another life. He lives, he lives in the forest with his friends over there, but in the off season, he comes to Terrace, BC, in the Coast Mountain Range and brews beer. So he has a whole another half life here.
Right, and that's why he's on the bottle, right?
And that's why he's on the bottle. He's part of our story, and then it's a tie into my dad as well. So there's a couple of pieces that tie into the whole Sherwood thing.
All right, Sherwood Mountain and Terrace, beautiful spot. Got a great view of the mountain there. It was great to visit them.
Yeah, not Sherwood Mountain though, because there is no Sherwood Mountain, right?
No.
That's great. It was a good clip. It really covered all the whole gamut of his story, which is a cool story. I remember when I first talked to him and heard his story about going to Berlin and everything, I was super jealous. I think that'd be pretty fun to go spend 6 months learning how to brew in Berlin. Wow.
Well, and then pretty ambitious too, like no previous brewing experience. So he just hopped on over to Ontario and then Germany, and now he's back. So
yeah, he's got another cool story too about a Christmas beer he makes every year. And even before he opened, I think he said this Belgian fellow walked into the brewery one day, and he was just setting things up. Like he was just starting to get the brewery going or something, maybe brewing his first batches. I can't remember. But anyway, the Belgian guy basically helped him make this batch of winter beer according to what he knew from Belgium. And so every year now he makes this and calls it Silent Night. Pretty cool.
Oh, well, I haven't tried that. So definitely on the list to grab next winter.
Yeah.
So.
And the Ghost is tasting great. It's a really nice, light, clear beer. Really, really tasty in the German tradition.
And it's dry hopped as well. And I do really appreciate that because that just that light hop aroma coming through. Like it's not overpowering like most dry hop things.
Yeah, exactly. The hoppiness is nice. I mean, that's not traditional, but it's still a nice little addition, especially to our palates here in BC where we love our hops.
Yes. And they've never made this beer before because every beer in this pack hasn't really been made to production before. So we'll hear a story about another beer that's been done for other festivals, but now they're just putting it into production. So that's coming up in a little bit.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, thanks for joining us. Don't forget, this is, a fundraiser for Ronald McDonald House as well. We'll speaking to them in a little bit. There's the quick little URL if you want to donate at home, if, you got your phone handy, if we're up on your TV or stuff like that. So, great. And there's some people asking, oh man, where can I get the pack? Apparently it all sold out in Prince George. So thank you so much to everybody. So sorry if you're in Prince George, but there's other places up north. I think it's coming as far south as Kamloops. So,
they couldn't brew, enough of this beer and to distribute all around the province. And obviously being a northern ale fest, they had to focus in that area. So as much as, us folks down here in Victoria, Vancouver Island and the Lower Mainland would love to taste all these beers, unless you got really good friends somewhere in one of those places who can buy some for you and ship it down for you, you're going to be out of luck.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, hey, we just had somebody say hello. It's Russell. And you know what? That's our next beer in the thing is Barkerville.
Wow.
So
great transition.
Are you opening a Barkerville beer or shall I?
Well, let's do it. Why don't we do that? You want to try it too?
I do have my Barkerville official glass here.
Right. It's a lightweight beer, so we can handle having a little bit of it too. And it's not like I drank that whole Kolsch already. So
No.
Yeah.
And I got can stoppers here. So
nice. So here's the can. Penny weight. Belgian Saison. It's only 3.7% alcohol ABV. So nice light beer. I'm sure it's gonna have lots of flavor. I was on last night with Eric Ball, who's one of the organizers of the AleFest, and he was sipping this one while I was sipping the big strong one from Wheelhouse, and he was talking about how great the flavor is despite it being such a light beer. So
shall we find out a little bit more about this beer because I spoke with Aaron from Barkerville.
Perfect.
All right, joining me now from Barkerville in the tasting room, it's Brewmaster Aaron.
Hi.
How's it going up there?
It's going pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, good. So I'm excited to try this. Can you tell us about this beer?
Yes, it's a Belgian style Saison. It's fairly low ABV, like about 3.7, I think. It pours slightly cloudy with nice fluffy head, and the yeast really shines in this one. I'm excited to use that yeast again. It's got a lot of character, and basically that's it in a nutshell.
Sweet. So Barkerville, how long have you been open for?
We've been open for 7 years. This coming week, our anniversary.
Right.
Next Friday.
All right, next Friday. Cool. Too bad I can't make it up. I would love to be there for the party.
Yes. It'll be very socially distanced, so probably.
Speaking of which, you have an awesome patio outside, don't you?
We do. We have a great patio outside. It's really cold now, though, so it's pretty empty.
Are there like heaters though?
We had some tents, but we had to remove them. It just they were getting used by other people more than our customers. So
great.
Yeah.
But you can still go have a beer at the tasting room and still be socially distanced in there. I mean, like it looks like there's a bunch of space.
Yeah, there's a lot of space, and we have plexiglass dividers up, so we're able to maximize. We're almost at our pre-COVID capacity. Yeah, it's pretty great. It's not super hopping right this second, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, it's the afternoon. It's fine.
It's the afternoon. People are done work. I'm sure in about half an hour we'll be kicked out of here. Anyway.
All right, cool. So yeah, really excited to try this. What else have you have in the pipeline for releases?
We coming up. We'll be ramping up the sluice juice production pretty soon, in anticipation of spring, and we are hopefully going to do a lemon ginger pilsner this year. We're looking at perhaps doing either a Cascadian dark ale or maybe a Scotch ale. We're looking at bringing back some of our older beers just to see what happens. We get a lot of requests for beers that we don't put out anymore, and so we thought, since we're keeping our beer fairly local, it'd be nice to keep the locals happy. Yeah, I can't off the top of my head think of what else we have coming. Maybe a one-off.
Well, if you need a vote, I'm saying Cascadian Dark because I was saying that not many people make those.
No, they don't. Actually, the other thing we are gonna try is another just a one-off IPA, just for fun, mix stuff up. And I'd also like to do maybe a more bitter lager, but we'll see if we have tank space for that because that'll take a bit of time. But yeah, we're kind of playing with. We'll see what we come up with this year, but we're pretty excited to mix things up a bit.
All right, cool. Well, thanks so much for your time. I know you're busy and you got to get back to it, and I really hope we can travel again soon because I really want to get back and have your beers on tap.
Okay, it's great to see you, Aaron.
So Barkerville, oh man, this is a delicious beer. Great job.
It is. I agree. When she was talking about the beer, when she said the yeast character, I was just sipping it then, and I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, what a fabulous Belgian yeast coming through in there. Beautiful fruitiness, a little kind of peppery, a little spicy. Really, really nice. 3.7%, man. This beer has so much flavor for a light beer like that.
Oh, totally. Like this is give me a 4-pack or 6-pack of this, and I'm happy. So
exactly, yeah. I like their beers a lot. I mean, I've had, what did I have recently? I had the big the Stout 52-foot Stout, delicious beer. That's the one they make with birch syrup, I think. And then their sluice juice is a great hazy, right? Beautiful beer. I really like that one too. So
I might get in trouble for saying this, but my favorite IPA in the province is the Wandering Camel from Barkerville. So
nice. That's a big statement. Claiming a favorite IPA in the public like that.
Aaron's a fantastic brewer. So thanks so much for your time. So we have some reporters in PG. There was lineups out the store to try and get these packs. So it just sounds like it was just chaos up there.
Someone said it was like Boxing Day.
Yeah, Adam's like, it was like Boxing Day, but just people trying to buy craft beer.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. Crossroads Crew's here. What up? We're going to be trying your beer in a little bit. So, yeah.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, what else do we have here? Adam, well, I mean, that's why we have this festival, yeah? So yeah, let's see. Oh yes, Wandering Camel. Thanks, Jody. Thanks for agreeing. Yep. Adam also agrees. Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. What up, Bjorn? Hey, good to have you here. And Craig, we're going to be talking to him in a little bit. So hey, Craig from Trench. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Flick us a message. We'll be answering some questions and whatnot. So let's see. What else we got to do? Oh, well, we got to talk about the North. We've been talking about the North, all the great breweries up there. But Joe, the Bcl Trail. Tell us about that.
The Bcl Trail. So the Bcl Trail is a project I've been involved with now for more than 5 years. I think we just had our 5-year anniversary actually recently. So the idea there, if you're not familiar already, is that we've created all these different regional itineraries describing, I think we're up to 17 or 18 different regions around BC now, everything from, The smallest one is Port Moody,
Yep.
right? Brewers Row. The biggest one is northern BC, which covers all the way across the province. But you can check it out. You can see all the descriptions of all the breweries, and we have itineraries, suggested itineraries to give you some ideas of what you can do. Lots of photos and video, blogs. We host Aaron's podcast on there once a month as well, or sometimes even more often. And it's a great way to learn more about the beer scene here in BC and to plan for your big post-lockdown road trip all around the province.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, so the beauty of doing this live stream is we have the added bonus of pictures, as we're normally on my podcast, it's just audio. So how about we show people the north?
There's still something different about Prince Rupert. It's not like many other interior or northern BC towns. I think being at the end of the road, it has been forced to support its own, and so that just sort of culture is ingrained in people who live here. Prince Rupert is a fishing town, an industrial town, so it likes its beer. And once people come here, they see its natural beauty. There's just a list of things that make Prince Rupert really a perfect place. We like to think that we are a part of the reason. We can provide this little craft brewery at the end of the road.
People are going to have a great experience with the views of Terrace and the Coast Mountains. This is a great place for adventure lifestyle. Sherwood is all about storytelling. It's a bit of a throwback to earlier times and simpler times, and people appreciate knowing who's making their beer, and people are coming together and having good times and talking about the beer and talking about their adventures, and they're supporting a local initiative and local ingredients. The mountains are gorgeous and the rivers are awesome, so it's a special spot.
The drive from Terrace to Smithers is just incredible. You just relax and you take it in, and who knows what you'll see. I just have always taken my role in town as a tour guide. It just creates such an easy, comfortable environment for people to approach other people in. It's great to hear people laughing and joking around.
We want to represent the people in Smithers and the people that choose to work here and live here and raise their families and make a living here. Everybody's telling the stories of what they've done that day, whether they've gone for this crazy mountain bike or they caught that trophy steelhead or salmon. They can tell the stories with friends, with locals, and with complete strangers. Having a beer is as much about the beer as it is about sitting down and having a conversation.
We're big believers in enjoying Prince George. We're all about breaking bread with your neighbor. It's not just an art, there's also a science. And so I think a lot of people sort of appreciate the craft, or just lends itself to opening up a discussion.
You find brewers in an industry that struck a perfect balance between the two, and I think regardless of which end of the spectrum, there's brewers out there that'll make incredible beer.
There is an art and science to brewing beer, that's for sure. And the brewers are willing to take some risks and try new flavors. People love to come to Belmont to play, and they like to come to the tap room for a beer after their day. I don't know what it is about craft beer, but you can sit down with anyone and have a beer and start a conversation.
About the beer, but it's also about people trying new things or old things in new ways. This is a super great place to come and see what Cornell has to offer, and we want everybody to feel like this is kind of their home. I think we're in a perfect place for craft beer. It's a beautiful town. There's lots of breweries in our region now. It's a great time to make beer in BC.
Oh man, I want to go to the north so bad.
Me too, man. That was just like lighting the fire again. Wow. Looks fantastic.
Okay, well. Yeah. What up? Cheers, dude.
I think we're having a bit of a favorite IPA battle going on right now. We had another vote from Adam, right?
Tail slap. I mean, 3 ranges. Oh, it's Michael's making some great beers up there with Jonas, and that they're in the pack. They're coming up. I'm really excited to try that one in a bit.
Tail slap won a big award. Was it a couple years ago? Won number 1 gold medal at the BC Beer Awards, I think it was.
I believe so. I mean, don't have my database in front of me. I mean, should have come maybe a little prepared with the BC Beer Awards. That's the one thing I forgot to do.
All of that, right? Every single detail. Yeah. Well, I remember writing about it and interviewing Michael about it. I think it was BC Beer Awards, unless it was Canadian, but I think it was BC. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. So, is it time for another beer? I think it's time.
Sure. Yeah. I think you were going to open the next one, right? Kettle Sour.
I am. It's down here.
All right. Well, this is the Dark Kettle Sour with Sass from Trench Brewing and Distilling, right? In Prince George.
So here we are in Prince George, and there's a great story because this isn't just like one beer. This is a series. So how about we find out more about it from Craig at Trench. Okay, joining me now from Prince George, friend of the podcast. It's great to see him again. It's Craig at Trench. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing excellent.
All right. So Trench, how's it going? Like, how are you guys doing up there?
We're doing really well. I mean, we're still pumping out the beers. Right now we've got quite a few beers that we don't even have room for a guest tap right now, which is a shame. But as we're pumping through our stuff, we'll get some other of our friends back on tap. But we've got a ton of exciting things that are happening here.
All right, cool. And so Trench, how long have you been open for?
So we're going to be, this April will have been open for 3 solid years.
Sweet.
In the tasting room. Yeah.
Yep, cool. And then what's your current capacity for COVID numbers and stuff in the tasting room, things like that?
It really depends. It depends on the groups coming in. We have some big long tables in here. They're separated by some movable partitions, so we can, depending, you can have you can even have 6 people on one side and then separated and then 2 on the other. We got 3 of those. So, depending on the arrangement, we can get about, up to say maybe 35 to 40 people. And it's well separated. And so right behind me here is a partition. So, we can get a dozen people just down on this side where I'm at.
All right.
So, yeah, it's been good. We've people are coming in for things like the brunch and of course the beers.
Yep.
But the brunch is a bit of a compliment to the beers.
Yeah. So Trench, what are the kind of styles of beer that you typically kind of push out?
Well, we do have a range. Our flagship beers, we've got a Pilsner. We call it the Art of Pilsner. It's Czech style lager. That was one that was really important to Jesse and I because we were in the Czech Republic and we did some formal beer training over there. Even though we don't brew,
hey, it's good to know. It's good to know.
More than us does that, but yeah. So we've got that. We've got a Viking Amber Ale. Our Amber Ale, it's kind of a lighter, really approachable beer. It's my mom's new favorite one. Sorry, Honey Brown, but she doesn't like you anymore. We've got a Blonde Ale. That's also really approachable, 4.5%. Real low by IBUs, 20. And then we've got our Stout, and we nitro that Stout as well. So in the tasting room, you can get it in nitro. And then we've got our Pine Pass Pale Ale. It's a hazy New England style pale ale. It's fruity, and it's got mosaic in it, and it's got a few hops. It's delicious. My favorite is the Fang IPA.
Yes. Yes. Favorite of mine too. Yeah.
Yeah. Hazy style IPA, and it just finishes really well. It's not overly hoppy, lots of aroma.
But there's still a bit of bitterness into it. There's a nice little hint in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a bit of that off the back of it, and and then we've got a bunch of just seasonal stuff. Right now we've got a Schwartz beer, and we nailed that style somehow. I think I think it's really good because you're gotta match that style. You can't just have your interpretation of a Schwartz beer.
Yeah. So shout out to Paul, eh? So
yeah. We're doing some stuff. We've got a right now. It's a chocolate blueberry vanilla stout, and it's 8.6%. So it's a hard heavy hitter, but we've got that in cans. We've kind of got a new series of beer. We call it the Adventure Series, Trench Adventures. And there's that. We've got a black IPA coming out under that same label. We've got our Casa Kettle Sour, which we're going to talk about a new Casa Kettle Sour coming out pretty quick here. But right now we got a dry hopped one. It's dry hopped with Galaxy.
Sweet.
And and then those are series beers. Like the Casa's never been the same, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. But the Casa, we've always had different. We started out, it was like a pomegranate. We've had mango. We've had this dry hop one. We've had there's just a number of them. And the same with our Bijou, which is it's a dry hopped single hop beer. So we always feature one hop. Like we've done Mosaic, we've done Galaxy, we've done Idaho 7. We're looking at some exciting one coming up here pretty quick. I don't want to give it up, but
you're just going to have to go and visit, right?
I know, and the Bijou series, it's always been different every time. So that's kind of a little trivia for people. Some people say, "Oh, I've had the Casa," and it's like, well, have you had the new one?
Have you had it lately? Yeah.
And then we've got a Kveik IPA right now on we've got a bunch of stuff that comes out of our little pilot system, 200-liter system. So you get a few kegs out of that. It's exciting. It's always there's always something here for everyone. Oh, the Bramble Raspberry.
Oh, I love the Bramble. How did I forget about that?
And it's delicious. Yeah. Like we do use, you're going to use some vanilla extract, but we put a bale of vanilla beans, and I don't even want to tell you how much they cost, but they sit in that tank on there for 8 days. The vanilla beans are soaking on that, and it's unmistakable. The real vanilla taste, it's something that's special about that beer.
I can only imagine that price because, for Christmas, for a starter for dinner, I made a vanilla bean and parsnip soup, and like just that one vanilla pod, whew, that was basically the whole Christmas budget within itself.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this beer that you put in the taster pack. What is it?
So it is our Casa again. So it's one of the series. It's a sour cherry. It's got just like any good sour. It does have a little bit of maltiness, I feel, and on the end. But you've got that sour cherry taste. We were talking earlier, and I said I actually like that taste. I take sour cherry or black cherry, and I mix it with water, and I have it in a drink. When I'm sitting around the house, I want something refreshing. And so you get that the malt flavors. You got some like that kind of biscuit, breadcrumb, caramel stuff.
All right, and like, is there like a machine? Is there like kind of like a Black Forest cake thing going on, or is it just more cherry?
We talk about that. Yeah, there is with that cherry. You kind of get that too. Mm-hmm. And it's people taste different things in it. But that's definitely the major flavor for me coming through is that kind of that black cherry, a little bit of that Black Forest kind of cherry flavor with some. It's just like that flavor, and it just goes straight into that kind of that multi finish for me. It's awesome.
All right, well, I'm really looking forward to trying it. So, like with this range that you're doing as well, have you repeated like a flavor yet, or are you just trying to be different?
No, we haven't. So we've actually just talked about that. We want to do like a Instagram and Facebook, like a poll, and say what was your favorite Casa.
Right.
And like I remember I was out actually. We've got the little Shopify store, online store, and people get stuff. And once in a while, I go out and I deliver at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
And I had a guy. He was telling me, he goes, "Man, that Casa is so delicious." Just like, and I don't know which one it was. I think it was the mango one that we did, but he said his friend went around to every liquor store in Prince George and bought up the rest of them. I was like, "Are you kidding me? You did that?" Oh man! So, but it was. So we want to put out a poll, and we want to put, what was your favorite Casa? We'll get some feedback, and then do a couple of those ones, the popular ones, over again.
Maybe even a Casa Club, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, we're thinking here. Yeah. So you don't miss out on the flavor. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Craig. And like finding out about hours, and obviously like order some beers too. Like you don't have to go into the brewery, right? Like people can kind of get beer to go and drop it off. Where do people go to find out about that?
Well, you can go on our website. It's trenchbrew.ca, www.trenchbrew.ca. We've got an online store. We ship anywhere in British Columbia up to a flat. It's just a flat rate. It's around $15. We've got our swag on there. Of course, at 399 2nd Avenue in Prince George, we're out in the industrial end of town, down by a scrapyard. It's quite interesting to sit and look out the front window and watch them, move metal around and put it in boxcars. But
in normal times, you have bands in there making as much noise as you want and having your own party down at the end.
Well,
of the street.
we have. I mean, we're kind of like those sort of things are a thing of the past right now. But it's been great. It's a little gem down in the scrapyard area, right? Yeah. But you can come down. We've got right behind me. We've got a cooler. You can come in, buy 4 packs. And fill growlers that enjoy a delicious. We've got a smoked meat program here that is awesome. Like many people like that. We do brunch on the weekends on Sunday, and it's been good.
Yeah, love your beers, love your brewery. I mean, it's been ages since I last visited, and hope to come up and visit you soon. Thanks, Greg.
Okay, thanks a lot, Aaron.
All right, Trench Brewing. So, yeah.
Looks good. Did you pour that beer out?
I didn't pour it out. I poured it in a glass.
Well, that's what I meant. You know what I mean. Come on. Nice Farmhouse Fest glass, too. Good one.
Yeah. But
hold it up. It's got a really nice color. It's really like a dark red color, too. Look at that. Nice.
Yeah. I mean,
it's talking about sour cherries.
It's an opaque red, but yeah, no, the sour cherry's really coming through. I am getting a bit of the Black Forest cake that I kind of predicted. That maltiness. Neat. Yeah.
I didn't open it. I'm gonna save it for another night because I don't want to drink.
This is one to be saved and enjoyed. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to savor that one over the course of a nice evening. So yeah, but it looks like it's a good one. Are you enjoying it?
Oh yeah, no, this is I love all these breweries that we have in this pack. So this is basically a dream pack for me that turned up on my doorstep. So
it is a dream pack, and the cans I've got them all lined up here, and they're just gorgeous. I mean, some of the labels are just really well put together too. So
yeah, and you've put the pack behind you on the shelf now, so it's earned the spot on the bookshelf. So yeah,
that's right.
It's good beers at that point.
It's not a virtual bookshelf. That's some people have those virtual backgrounds, but no, I really have a bookshelf behind me. So.
And this is a real flag. Yeah,
yes,
a real Cascadian flag.
That's right. I got to get me one of those.
All right. So I just had a quick look, and I have to say thanks so much. Like, we are raising money for Ronald McDonald House. That's what this thing is all about. We started the broadcast off with 9% of the goal reach. We're now bumped that up to 12. And
that's great.
Yeah. So thanks to those that have donated during here. If you've just joined late and you want to donate, there's the address. There it is. There's the address up there that you can donate as much or as little as, whatever you can afford, really. Like, it's tough at the moment, but I think who better to tell us than the person behind operations at Ronald McDonald House. All right, joining me now from Ronald McDonald House, it's Shannon. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Aaron, thanks so much for having me.
Well, yeah, no, and thanks for joining us on this live stream. So basically, what is Ronald McDonald House? If for those who don't know.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Ronald McDonald House is a 74,000 square foot, 73 bedroom home that is just about 500 steps from Children's Hospital down here in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. And we're a 38-year-old charity started back in 1983. And our purpose here is to support families from around the province who have to travel to Vancouver for treatment at Children's Hospital. Mm-hmm. So what we are able to offer here is a welcoming, safe place for people to stay and a great community of care that surrounds families.
Yeah, and you had a major renovation a few years ago, right? Because I had a tour, and it's a beautiful facility. And yeah.
Great. Glad you had a tour. Yes, we started out as a 13-room house in Shaughnessy over here. And back in 2012, the need was just so great that we knew we had to expand the property. So in 2014, this house where we sit now, the 73-bedroom one, was built and open, and we've been full ever since. So yes, we've grown a lot.
So let's say like there's a family up north or something that need to come down for treatment. Like what is the process of going through that, and what's provided?
So we're the nicest place that you never want to have to stay, and often families don't know that they're coming. So I know a typical situation is a child and their family go to the doctor for a cold or a scrape or something that they feel is minor. And throughout that day, a diagnosis unfolds, and it's major, and they're on a helicopter sometimes on the road to Vancouver. So we work very closely with the social workers at Children's Hospital, and we ensure that families that need to be here at the house, that are going to be here for a long time because of treatment, are able to stay. So our minimum criteria is 50 kilometers outside the city of Vancouver and farther. So northern BC, about 25% of our families come from the north every year. Right. And that is what is our criteria. So what we provide, we try and provide a home away from home. So it's a really welcoming, comfortable spot. You've been here, Aaron, so you can attest to that. It's a safe place for people to stay. We encourage the whole family to come. So we have larger rooms, we have trundle beds, we have all manner of ways to keep people comfortable. And then we provide meals and food. We have amazing community support that helps us with, pantry program, as well as, we're bringing in catering food right now. There used to be lots of home cooked meals that were provided to the community. And,
there was, those communal kitchens were like really well set up. So
there's 4 kitchens, and we're able to, use those for meals. And I think, the magic of Ronald McDonald House is the other families. So often a family will find someone who's going through the same kind of treatment or has understanding of the same kind of treatment. And there's just that great community here. So we continue to try and make it a home away from home for families.
Yep, and it's just beautifully lit. Like there's just tons of open natural light that comes into the space. It's odd for me to say, but I mean, like, I'd like that to be my apartment. Like, it's a really nice building, and the courtyard too. So yeah, you can, in normal times, you can make a meal with other families and take that out in the courtyard in the sun, and like, it's just such a comfortable environment.
Absolutely. The other day, we had sun. I know it was like a week of sun, and when I was walking through the house, there were kids playing outside on the sport court. So we have a basketball court where kids ride their bikes, and in the summer that's where everybody is. And so in the winter, on these great days that we have, it's so amazing to see the kids that are just being kids, just able to do what they do.
Yeah, and I know some of the children that stay there, they're going through very sensitive treatments. And I mean, like, even pre-COVID times, when I was lucky enough to have a tour there, that place was spotless and like just really well maintained and sanit. Like it was really well kept up. So, but in COVID times, what are some things that families might need to know? Or might just be concerned about, going into a communal space like that?
Yeah, I think, in any kind of community situation, there's always challenges around cleanliness. We, luckily, when this place was built, each bedroom has its own air filtration system, which is awesome. We have an amazing housekeeping team that cleans everything in this place 2 or 3 times a day. So we were already doing that before COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, we did what everyone else did with sanitizer and temperature checks every day and additional cleaning. And, it's really about the social distancing now and about making sure that everybody is kept a safe distance apart in the dining rooms and in the common spaces. And just to remind everybody, if you use the microwave, please wipe it down after, basic stuff like that.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to donate, like where does that money immediately go? And how can people donate to Ronald McDonald House?
Yeah, so we rely on community support. We're so grateful for the support that we get from Northern BC. Our website is rmhbc.ca, and that's the best place to go. There's all kinds of activities that happen throughout the year to support the house, which you know a little bit about. And then, of course, people can just make donations. a typical family will save $3,000 to $5,000 a month staying at a Ronald McDonald House, and families contribute $12 a night when they can. And so the fundraising revenue that we are fortunate to have come our way supports those families here in the house.
And so we're here. It is the Kiwanis AleFest virtually, albeit this year. I mean, I'd love to be up in Prince George and celebrating with everybody else. But they've supported you for a number of years. And what does that support mean?
It's been a tremendous amount of support from the AleFest. They have adopted a room here at Ronald McDonald House for the past 5 years, raised more than $30,000 for Ronald McDonald House, which is a tremendous amount of money that we're very grateful for. And that directly supports families from Prince George. So right now in the house, there are 3 families from Prince George, 9 from Northern BC, everything from NICU to oncology. And because of funds that come to us from the community, we're able to support those families. So we're very grateful.
And this isn't the only fundraiser as well. You have a number of ones throughout the year. Like, what's your next big fundraiser?
Thank you. So, with many changes this last year, we've introduced a few new fundraisers for people. Our next one is in May, and it's called Step Up for Families. And essentially, you will walk, run, roll 73 kilometers for the 73 rooms that are here in the house and raise funds to support the house. So we're looking forward to that, and people can find out more information by going to our website at rmhbc.ca.
But thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And support Ronald McDonald House. It's a really great place. And we're really fortunate to have it on the grounds here in Vancouver.
Thanks so much, Aaron. Thanks, everybody.
And thanks to everybody who's already donated. I'm seeing that number progress up and up, so that's great to see. So thanks so much. And of course, from the official AleFest people here, thank you so much to the Ronald McDonald House. Amazing team there. Like, it's such a beautiful facility, and like, look, in a time when you have an unexpected medical emergency with a little one in your family, it is honestly the best place you can end up. It just takes so much stress off those families, of dealing with a pretty difficult time. So,
yeah, I can only imagine what that must be like. But listening to that interview and hearing the stories, it just it sounds like an amazing place, and I'm really glad that they exist, and I'm really glad that Kiwanis Prince George started an AleFest, largely to support that place. So that's pretty incredible.
All right, well, it's time for another beer, isn't it, Joe? So.
It is. It's time for another beer. We're on to beer number 4 in the pack, and this one's called "It's Kinda a New Normal," and this is a collaboration beer. It's the only collaboration beer in the pack. I got that right, I think. Yeah, and it's with Mighty Peace, which is up there in Fort St. John, and Smithers and Iron Road from Kamloops. So they all teamed up to create this beer, and I've had a sip already. It's quite delicious. It's like a hazy pale ale that's been turned into a sour. So I think they took like a really nice citrusy hazy beer, and then added the souring agents to make it into a sour. And it's got big punch of citrusy flavors. It's quite delicious.
Yeah. I have to say, look, Michael here from 3 Ranges is on. Yeah, man, been a big help. So yeah, but be talking to Michael in a little bit, but let's talk about this collab beer. And I talked to Zach up in Fort St. John at the Mighty Peace.
Right.
All right, joining me now from the Mighty Peace Brewing Company up there, way up in Fort St. John. It's Zach. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Aaron?
Great. So what's your official title there at the brewery?
Oh boy. I would say I'm the head brewer, but I also oversee overall operations of a production brewery.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the brewery. Like, how long has it been around? And let's just start from there.
Yeah. Well, we started up in June 2018. I joined the team August 2018, and I just joined on as a assistant brewer, and kind of just found my way to where I am now.
So I have to say big thanks to the team there, because you guys have been the most consistent here during the pandemic, and you sent me 2 care packages of beer. So I've been enjoying your your beer during the pandemic. I have to say, Village Idiot's one of my favorite there. Is there a story behind that beer?
Not really. That beer was kind of a happy accident, we can call it.
Yeah.
That's Bob Ross reference there is, I initially was just going for something pretty much middle of the road pale ale, and it didn't turn out the way I was predicting. And one of the owners just was like, make sure there's just one thing I would like to ask from you, and that's if you can call one of our beers the Village Idiot. So,
Right.
I kind of just went with it and adjusted the recipe, and now we have a nice happy accident.
Right. Totally. And so, like, what's the size of your tasting room like in normal COVID times, and what have you done to accommodate people coming to visit you?
Yeah, so normally we can seat up to around 80 to 85, including the patio. With COVID, we're at around 35 now, and we've put up. We've been following all the protocols with mask wearing, sanitation, and putting up the plexiglass.
Yeah, cool. So, all right. So let's talk about this beer that you have in the pack. It's a little collaboration. How did this beer come about between you, Iron Road, and Smithers?
So I got contacted by Kiwanis, and it was awesome to hear from Jamie, and they had this whole creative idea, and they wanted us to just do our own beer for Mighty Peace. And I just right away initially thought this might be a good chance to link up with Cam and Aaron from Iron Road and do something experimental and fun, because as we all know, COVID's a little isolating.
Yep.
So I thought, like, you know what? I'm going to follow the COVID protocols and call Cam, call Aaron, and see if they'd be interested in throwing together a COVID-friendly collab. And they were all for it, and we made it happen, and super stoked about it. It was my first collaboration. Those guys have done a few already. So, it just makes it all that much sweeter in this industry to do something like that. So,
And so that was brewed at Smithers, but like, were you mostly responsible for the recipe? Like, how did that work? Like, what was the process?
I think that recipe didn't take long. We had a little chat, three-way chat there on our messenger, and we just kind of snowballed, and within a couple hours we had a recipe. Cam took care of most of the logistics at Smithers with the ingredients and the labels, and we're super thankful that they took us in, and it was a chance for us to do some sales up in the Northwest and see the beautiful terrain up there. And it was a whole lot of fun. But each of us had something to put into that recipe and to the vision of that beer.
Yeah. So, like, at the time of taping, you haven't tried the beer yet, have you?
No. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to the release date, to the tasting, and I'll have a taster with all of you guys on that day.
All right.
On January 29th.
All right. So, yeah, as you're watching this now at home, this is the brewer's first time trying this beer too with us. So, yeah, this is great.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, Cam said that it tastes great, so I trust his palate.
Yep.
So, yeah, like, I mean, they make pretty good beers, so I'm sure it does taste good.
All right. Yeah. So if anybody else was wanting to find out more about the brewery, possibly come by and visit you, what's the best way to get some information and book that trip, really, to come by and say hi?
Well, they're just going to have to make the investment and travel long, far, and wide, and be willing to explore the outdoors, because that's what this whole region has to offer up here is the outdoors. It's all about the outdoors. And if you want to see some untouched scenery, the north.
Yeah.
And then craft beer. I find craft beer pairs well with a lot of that. So
yeah. No, I'm really hoping that we can travel again during the summer and I can finally make up the trip and come and see you guys. So, because I've seen you guys many a times at the festivals up there in the north, out at Valemont and and whatnot. But yeah, finally visiting the actual brewery. That's hopefully my goal this year. So,
I'll reserve a table for you.
all right, cool.
And a brewery tour, but we'll see.
All right, cool. And how about I buy you a pint? There we go. So buy you a pint. Well, no, I'll bring you something. There we go. I'll bring you.
There you go.
Bring you something.
Yeah.
There we go.
Because we don't get a lot of the good stuff from down there. So yeah.
Well, no, because you're making the good stuff right there in town. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. Trying my best. All
right. Thanks, Zach. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Aaron. Take care.
All right, Zach. Okay, so I was going to save this, but, the crew here I was hosting virtual pub quiz night, and like Kamloops crew approves of this. So I had to pour it myself because I didn't want this Iron Road glass to go to waste too that I had in the lineup. So I was going to skip this one, but this is going to be my first sip. Joe, what are you experiencing with this beer?
Oh, it's a great beer. It's a big, huge citrus bomb, and the sour tang that comes in behind it. It's just it's super refreshing. I think this would be a really nice. I mean, it's great right now, but it would be a super nice summer beer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a great, post 50K bike ride beer. That's for sure.
Yeah. No. Oh, Justin,
I don't think
you're right.
I don't think Zach told his story about AleFest, because that's when he decided to become a brewer. I think. It was when he was like the sales guy for Red Collar in Kamloops, and he went to AleFest representing Red Collar, and I think that's when he kind of had it in his head to like, I think I want to actually become a brewer after
hence the Red Collar hat that he had on. So yeah,
there you go. Yeah, he's got a strong connection. So yeah, so there you go.
Apparently, according to Cam, the tallest guy in the industry. I don't know. I mean,
we're both pretty tall too.
yeah. There's that, but I think Matt from Vessel is taller than us. So.
Yeah, you're right. Probably he's like 6'8".
Yeah. So
and Matt from Phillips, not Lockhart, the other one. No, Dan Reed. That's it. Not Matt. Yeah. Dan Reed. He's taller than us too. He's like 6'10" at least. He's giant.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's not a brewer though, so maybe they're talking about brewers.
Yeah, and Steve, so Joe and I, we've been around the BC beer industry for a bit. I do the Cascadian Beer podcast. Started out as a hobby, and then it's developed into this, and I'm very fortunate that I get to travel around the province and drink beer. When I could, I do Washington and Oregon as well, but that border's been shut for a bit, so hopefully to make it down there soon. But yeah, coming up, I have a bunch of episodes in the bank ready to go. I'm gonna hit 100 episodes this year, so it's it's scaled off a bit because of my podcast. I now have my own podcasting business where we make podcasts for corporations and businesses and brands and stuff, and that's all from this beer podcast. So
what are you going to do for episode 100? You should do something special. You should do like we should brainstorm ideas for that. That's
I actually had this idea of wanting to do kind of a live event for the 100th one, but try it'll be like herding cats, I know, but try and get as many friends of the podcast together to collaborate on a beer for the 100th episode, and then find some good cause to raise money for it. That is my ultra ambitious goal for that. But
nice. Okay, well, let's see the comments. Who's going to offer up their brewery for that? Come on.
It'd probably have to be somebody big, but yeah. Also seeing in the chat, Matt's wondering if he can get some stuff in the Okanagan. Apparently Bailey's doing a run down there, so hopefully.
Cask and Barrel in Kelowna. That's not hard to get to, even from Penticton. You can get up there. That's on the West Shore there, so that's a good central location for all you Okanaganites.
Yeah, which I don't think it's coming down to the Lower Mainland. I think you and I are the outliers here. We had a special care package, so
I think that is going to be the southernmost drop off that I can imagine.
Yeah. So, oh man, this beer is fantastic.
It is. It's delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, great job on the collab, guys. It's a shame the Iron Road crew couldn't make it up, but such is the times. But they had a hand in it. They were on it. But Cam will tell us exactly about how the brew day went down in a little bit when we talk to Smithers. So I'll save that story for then. But in the meantime, I'm I know he's watching. I'm sorry, Michael, but I'm going to save your beer because, I just don't want to rush through it because Michael and Jonas make great beers. But if you're following along at home or, you're picking and choosing, the next beer in our series here of tasters is the Breakfast Stout with coffee from Three Ranges. All right, joining me now from Three Ranges, we have owner brewer and brewer assistant brewer. It's Michael and Jonas. Hey, guys.
Hello. Hey. How's it going?
Hey, so, yeah, it's going great. Like, how's Valemont? Like, how you guys been during these COVID times? I'm very jealous of your massive tent you have outside, Michael. That looks quite impressive.
Thanks. It's pretty good. It's warm enough to sit in and drink beer on a cool evening, that's for sure. We'll find out tonight because it's minus 10, which might be one of the coldest nights we've had it open so far.
All right. Well, let's talk about this beer. What beer did you guys put in the taster pack?
Well, Jonas had a breakfast stout recipe that he was working on, and we went through a couple of iterations of it, and then kind of talked about the options of what to put in, and decided to take that recipe and tweak it and add a little coffee to it. And so we have our brunch breakfast stout made with Bcl Roasters coffee.
All right. So Jonas, like is breakfast stout your favorite style, or how did this beer idea come about?
It's just one of the ones I was working on. I liked the idea of a good full-bodied, full-flavor stout that was, when I was first working on it, it was right around 3% ABV was all. So I liked the idea of a good full-bodied stout you could drink any time of day, hence the name brunch, I guess.
Right. Well, are you guys going to crack one open here? I mean, it is morning time, so. Well, when we're taping this, it's morning time anyway. Yeah.
It's the perfect brunch time.
Yeah, look at that color. Brilliant. And as we're taping this, mine hasn't arrived yet, but I will be when we go back to our live segment here in a second. But what are some of the tasting notes? Like, what can we expect from this beer?
Well, you get a heavy hit of coffee as soon as you open the can, right on the nose. So, yeah, this is so the coffee is from Bcl Coffee, which is our local roaster here. They've been open, just short of a year, I think. They opened right as COVID started, and this is our second coffee beer that we've done using their coffee. The first one was our Bcl Trail XPA. We did a coffee version called the Bump and Grind. And then this one, brunch, we used one of their dark roasts called Nocturne. And it's, just phenomenal coffee, which really makes a beautiful impact on the beer. Aromatically, it just blends really well with the roastiness, and then the body of the beer is just light enough. It's light enough that you're like, okay, it's a lighter beer that I'm comfortable drinking it much.
All right, so this is a coffee beer, and not all coffee's created equal. Where did the beans come from? Do you know the origin of the beans that were roasted for this?
I believe it's a Peruvian Guatemalan mix.
Yeah, and then just a little bit about Three Ranges. When did you guys open, and how long you been around for?
So we opened in December of 2013. The only other northern craft brewery, small production craft brewery, closed right at a year prior to our opening, and that was Plan B. And then we opened in December of 2013, and we just had our 7th anniversary last year. Speaking of which, I think I owe you a bottle of 49 dog years if you haven't gotten one already.
Ooh, all right.
We still have a little bit.
And then Jonas, how long you been there for?
In March, it'll be 4 years. So I've been here almost 4 years. Yeah.
All right, great. And is there what kind of core lineups do you guys do, or are you just really seasonal up there? What's unique about your brewery other than just your location?
We have a strong core lineup of pretty much what I guess I'd call our basic 4, basic 5 beers is our seasonal light beer, seasonal dark beer that we rotate just once a year. Our Tail Slap IPA, our Bcl Trail Extra Pale Ale, and our Sacrifice Red Ale. With that, we still have a ton of other brands that we produce, and they kind of rotate through, run out of stock, and then we get another one on the go again. So right now, with kind of the COVID slowdown just a little bit, we're doing good maintaining stock on everything, but we have a large selection of what I call our irregular brands and then our seasonals.
Right, and then like, where's that beer going? Is it just in the north, or do you send some down to like the Okanagan or Lower Mainland from time to time?
Our distribution goes from Valemount west into the province, east into the province of Alberta, west all the way out to Smithers, up north. We've had beer on like draft in Dawson Creek and occasionally in liquor stores in Fort St. John, and then all the way south as far as Penticton. Kind of Merritt is our limit moving towards the Lower Mainland there, and then all the way into the Okanagan.
Yeah, but something that you also started during COVID times was like you are shipping packages for people that order beer from you, right? So like if you are somewhere outside of that distribution area, you can still get your beer, correct?
That's true. In the province of BC, you can do that. Right now, our online shop is down at the moment because I'm coming up with a new solution. We just had a lot of problems with the original one set up and being able to manage our inventory because we sell merchandise. It's a little bit of a challenge front of house and online to keep everything in order.
But soon that'll be back up. So yeah.
Soon. I'm working on the new solution right now. So, but even if you contact us at threeranges.com on our contact us page, we can start the process of doing an order over that.
All right, sweet. And then and that's the best place to go to find out about your opening hours and everything else, right? To come by and visit you.
Yep, threeranges.com is fairly up to date. Right now, our beer labels on there are a little bit behind because we've done a little bit of revamping over the past year, and just between keeping up with COVID restrictions and production schedule, because we've shrunk a little bit on our production staff, but Jonas is swollen to pick up the shortage. Yeah, that'll get caught up there, but our hours are correct, and also our Facebook page, Three Ranges Brewing Company.
All right, well, thank you, you two. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this beer now, and yeah, have fun, be safe up there.
Well, thanks. We look forward to hoping to see you can make it back up here again sometime soon.
Yeah, I really hope I can make it back up in summer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cheers.
Cool, man. Cheers. Thanks.
Well, that was me a few summers ago in that last shot with Michael. Oh man, past Aaron really threw future Aaron under the bus there. So I'm sorry. I'm saving this beer for tomorrow. Maybe I'll have it for breakfast. So.
No, it is a breakfast stout after all. Yeah. It's looks like a good one for sure. It looks tasty. That was a great interview there for sure.
Yeah, no. And Michael puts on the Valemount Craft Ale Experience. Love it. One of my favorite festivals in the province. Hope it's back soon. It's just great hanging out with everybody. So.
Yeah, I'm jealous of you that you got to go there. I haven't made it out there. I mean, I've had lots of great talks with Michael over the years, and he's a great guy. You're definitely a lot taller than him.
It seems like everybody. So the next time you see Joe and I at a beer festival, ask us to tell you the Penticton story. It's a pretty funny one. There's some of you in the beer community.
You'll mistake us for father and son, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know.
Because there's such a resemblance.
Yeah. And then speaking of the Three Ranges crew, Rundy's also tuned in. So yeah. What up? Okay, so here we are. We're near the end of this pack. Can you believe it?
It's amazing. This is such a great mix of beers. I'm blown away. I'm so happy about how it's all come together, and I'm really thrilled that, for all the folks who are going to be able to get their hands on it.
Yes. I mean, especially in the Okanagan with that secret delivery that's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then Kamloops, I think there's still a few packs out. Sorry, Prince George, you're sold out. But yeah.
Drive down to Quesnel.
Yeah, drive down to Quesnel. Yeah, I don't know. Does Barkerville have some? Maybe is somebody on the Barkerville crew that's tuned in. Let us know if they're in the tasting room. Yeah,
they should.
Yeah, they should be. All right, Joe. The next beer. It's a big
The next beer I drank last night, so
yes,
unfortunately.
But you could tell us all about it after we speak to the guy behind it. All right. Well, I'm now joined by the man himself from Wheelhouse in Prince Rupert. How you doing, Craig?
Wonderful. It's always good to see you, Aaron. Good to see you.
Yeah, but I'm so sad that I didn't get to visit you guys last year because it's a destination to get to you. So whereabouts are you located in the province?
Yeah, we're at the end of the road for sure. So we're in Prince Rupert, British Columbia, northwest coast, right at the end of Highway 16. So come on up and visit us. It's only 17 or 18 hour drive from the Lower Mainland, Vancouver area, but
and then if you're on the island there, you can take the ferry up too, right?
And the ferry is great. It's a totally great vacation. It's a little pricey, but it's a totally relaxing, beautiful way to see the coast and come up here.
Once we travel again, I might even just do that just to have a nice full vacation experience.
I've heard that before.
So how long has Wheelhouse been open?
7 years now. Geez, we just had our 7th anniversary. We opened December 2013, just tiny little space, and a couple of expansions later, still in the same building but different wings of it, and 7 years later we're still trucking.
And whereabouts in Prince Rupert are you located?
We're right on the waterfront. We're kind of in what's called historic Cow Bay, so it's a nice little sort of shopping / visitor / restaurant / industrial area. But the harbor, we can see it from right out front there, and now we have a patio, so you can have a beer on the patio in the warmer weather at least, or not raining weather, and enjoy the view.
Yep. So in normal, non-COVID times, what is the capacity of your tasting room?
Yeah. Well, normal times, it's actually 85, and we don't usually fit that many in. We'd have to clear out a lot of tables and such like that. But the sign on the wall says 85. COVID times we're at 25, but we have a patio that seats about 20 more.
Right. So is there any particular style that you focus on as a brewery in terms of beer styles, or is it just kind of whatever you're inspired by?
Yeah, totally. I was actually daydreaming about this morning when I was listening to a podcast that a brewery was shifting from sours to lagers. And I was just like, why are people creating, putting themselves into a hole or anything? So no, we were pretty broad for sure. We definitely have a lot of sort of American styles, in our core lineup. We have a blonde ale and a pale ale and an IPA and a hazy IPA, but
and an excellent West Coast Pacific Northwest IPA. So
that's the other one. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. But no, we're pretty lucky. We have a smaller system that was in our original system, and it still is it's like a 4 hectoliter brew house as opposed to our 17 hectoliter full brew house. So we punch out monthly or every couple of weeks. We'll just whatever takes our fancy. We'll just brew it up and stuff like that. So yeah, we certainly have the American styles, but we love our lagers too, and make a few sours whenever we can. So. Yeah, I think you gotta offer everything, and it keeps us sort of alive and going, and keeps our minds fresh, and lets people have what they want.
Yeah, and you kind of had something arrive last year at just the right time. You actually got a canning line, didn't you?
Yeah. So this is my spiel on COVID is it's been great for us. We got a patio, and we were able to use some government funding to purchase a canning line, and we were able to get some new tables into the brew house that were definitely needed, or excuse me, the tasting room. So absolutely, we been angling towards a canning line for a couple of years now, and this was just sort of the straw that broke the camel's back and pushed us over the edge, and it's been great. Yeah.
Right. And what's the beer that you included in our taster pack?
Yeah, sure. So this is a beer that we had brewed once before on our small system, but have never canned before. So it's making its debut in the can, and it's called Captain Double Ipa. So
big boy. Big boy.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's 8.1%, and so yeah, it's up there kind of thing. And watch yourself when you're, you know, drinking the second or the third. But yeah, it's a nice. We're really happy with it.
Right. And like, what can people expect, like, kind of, you know, like flavor wise from a double IPA if they actually haven't had one before?
Yeah, sure. Well, ours in particular. So we brewed this, you know, hazy style. So it's, you know, got a lot of, in the grain bill, it's got a lot of, like, we use a lot of oats and wheat, and that lends to the haziness, but it also provides a nice backbone to all the hops that you're going to add. It kind of gives it some, like, a nice pillowy mouthfeel, for lack of a better word. So yeah, we have a nice strong malt bill, and then we used, I don't mind saying, like, Victoria's Secret, their big secret, and also Azaka hops in this, which we find, the Azaka in particular punches out a lot of, like, sort of pineapple flavors, and the Big Secret, it's an Australian hop, so it gives a lot of those sort of tropical citrus kind of things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That definitely Australian hops are known for. So.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Like so we're pretty happy. Like, we had made it in the small system before, but always scaling up to a larger brew house can be a challenge, and you don't know, but it turned out wonderfully and perfect. We're really happy with it.
All right, cool. And like, how can people find out more about you? And you can actually order beer from you, right? And ship it around the province.
Yeah, actually, that's the fourth thing that COVID brought us, was really the sort of the push to, like, get a website and web sales going. So yeah, we have, from our own website, wheelhousebrewing.com, you can click to order online, and then it takes you to a web store where, we ship out via Canada Post beer every week, every Thursday, to around the province. And we also have, like, t-shirts and sweatshirts and hats and toques or whatever. So it's been a sort of nice, it's just been a nice sort of addition for people, because, of course, I mean, it was made for COVID when people couldn't, you know, come to the brew house and buy our beer. But it's also made because we're so remote. We get a lot of questions like, hey, I'm in Chilliwack, and how can I try your beer? And the answer is why you can't. But now you can. You just sort of have to pay the shipping, but it's really reasonable, and we enjoy shipping the beer around the province.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Craig. Looking forward to trying this beer.
Yeah, definitely try it. And here, I'll give you a little sneak peek.
Boom. Look at that.
Yeah. So it's great. We're really happy with the label's beautiful. Designed again by our wonderful designer, Margaret Hansen. She's in Victoria, but she's done, you know, from day one, she's been with us, did our logo and does all our labels, and she really hit it out of the park with this one. It's a beautiful design with an ugly man, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Looking forward to letting people try it.
Yep, and I'm looking forward to when we can travel around the province and come up and have a beer with you again, sir. So
yeah. Well, come on, visit, please.
Big thanks to Craig at Wheelhouse.
Craig's a great guy. I love that guy.
And I have to agree with Jody. I have my official Wheelhouse glass here with II Captain in it. This is
an amazing beer.
It's a deadly
so
beer.
I'm super jealous. I wish I had another one, because I drank mine last night on the virtual happy hour, and it was great. I mean, I opened that can and the smell was just, like, gorgeous, and then, you know, poured it out and started drinking, and 8%. I was halfway through it before I knew it. Someone posted on here saying how it's pretty drinkable for a big double.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this is you better know what you're getting into. But also, exactly. Cam here says Craig gives the best hugs in Northern BC. I have to agree. He does. So
he's a good hugger for sure.
Leslie is planning a trip and really looking forward to collecting stickers. So
that's great, Leslie. That's my friend Leslie and Courtney. That's awesome. I have to admit, I didn't get the joke until just now. The double I didn't get that.
Hey,
double I didn't get that until Craig said it. The way he said it was perfect. He's like, Captain Double IPA. The way he said it,
yeah.
I think you're gonna have to put together an order and order some more beer from that brewery, man.
Yeah. So here we go. Bjorn saying Craig and Michael are the old Jedi masters of Northern Brewers. I agree. I think Craig is definitely Obi-Wan, but Michael, he's a Yoda.
We're going more for the height jokes here. That's
well,
good.
no, just the wise brewer that's like really like knows it very well.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't doing that.
Because he was piping in about his that he was standing on a box or something in that photo.
Tyson says, "Yeah, can't tell this is 8.1. Dangerous. It's a great beer."
Yeah, that's a really nice beer. You guys are going to enjoy it if you haven't already tried it.
Yep. And I'm currently trying it. I have to say, everybody, thank you so much for donating to Ronald McDonald House during the live stream. We're about to hit 20% of the goal. We started this night at 9% of the goal.
That's great.
We're almost at 20.
It's almost like one of those telethon shows. I've never done that before. That's fun.
I've actually done a few telethons, like behind the scenes, making sure it's been on air for 24 hours and all that. Yeah, they're fun. But
yeah,
so kind of reliving the experience here. So yeah. So there you go. I made a short link for everybody. That's going to take you right to the Kiwanis AleFest donation page for Ronald McDonald House. So anything and everything helps. So yeah. So, there we go. Craig's glad you finally got the name, Joe.
Well, what can you do? I was hosting yesterday. I was a one-man show. I didn't have Aaron here to help me out, so I had to be thinking on the fly, and sometimes my brain doesn't move that quickly. Plus, there was 8% alcohol coursing through my veins.
Yeah. So I mean, as I'm enjoying this 8.1, there's another beer in this pack. Do you want to open it now, Joe?
Yeah, sounds good. So the next one is the Uncle Ben's Brewing in Prince George, and I'll pop it open here and pour some out. I do like a Scottish ale, so I'm excited to try this.
Yes.
Aaron, have you heard of Uncle Ben before?
No, I have not heard the backstory on this, and unfortunately didn't connect with Crossroads. But I mean, if you know the story behind this beer, I mean, please let us know.
I know a bit about it. I was just reminding myself. So if people want to learn all about Uncle Ben, go to the Growler magazine website, bc.thegrowler.ca, and search for Uncle Ben. And there's an article that the editor Rob Mangelsdorf wrote a couple of years ago or last year, and it's the whole story. And it's a fascinating character. I mean, this is a guy who was in the early 60s. He had a very, very successful construction business, like very successful. Like I think he employed like 9,000 people or something, it says. So he was extremely successful. He bought an old brewery that was previously the Caribou Brewing Plant in Prince George. He bought it for $150,000 just to use it as a storage yard for his construction equipment. But the whole brewery was functional. So he looked at it and he's like, well, I'll get this, make it turn, I'll start a brewery too. Why not? It's called Tartan Brewing. And so basically over the next 10, 15 years, he was like a competitor here in BC, competing with the big guys, with Molson Labatt and what ultimately was Carling O'Keefe. But he did crazy stuff. Like he made beers he used like knockoff beer names like Bud, B-U-D-D, right? Instead of Budweiser, and Pabst with an extra A in it. And he made one called Pill Can. And he's basically just trying to rip off the big names. And he sold them for really low prices. But eventually he started putting his own face on the can. And he also was the first brewery in Canada to use cans too. That's the other cool thing about him. He put his face on there, Uncle Ben's malt liquor, which apparently was horrendous for the first 5 or 10 years that he made it. But, ultimately he got beat down by the big three breweries, and the BC Liquor Board apparently didn't treat him very well either, because they made him raise his at one point they made him raise his prices to match the big three breweries. And what he did is he taped a dime inside each pack so that his customers would get the difference back, because he was trying to undercut them, right? So, yeah, so it's a pretty cool story. Check out the article if you want to read the whole story. It's a really interesting character. This is before the craft brew revolution. He basically, he stopped. He went out of business in the late 70s, and he died in 1982. And 1982 is the starting point for the craft beer revolution, right? With Horseshoe Bay Brewery here. So his story kind of was a precursor to where we got to today, but a pretty interesting character for sure.
He cleared the vacant lot, as it were, right? So
yeah, exactly. So this beer is the Scottish ale, and I haven't tasted it yet, so let me give it a try.
All right. And speaking of which, too, like you mentioned the craft beer revolution. you are the author of said book behind you there on the shelf.
Which way do I
there we go. Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah.
Right there. Nice. That's the yellow edition. The brown one's beside my head up there somewhere. I can't point. I'm doing mirror image. I'm getting there.
Yeah. It's not like we've been drinking a few beers on a live stream tonight or anything, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a nice Scottish ale. It's a a nice dark malty Scotch ale without any of that, well, maybe there's a little bit of peat. I don't think they're doing the peat thing.
I mean, like Justin said, this is his new favorite Crossroad beer, so like
it's tasty for sure. I like this style. I especially in the wintertime, I would drink a lot of these for sure. Although I would drink a lot of most of these beers because they're all delicious.
Yeah. I mean, this pack is so fantastic. Huge shout out to the AleFest organizers. I mean, this has been good. So when I saw it earlier, Cam from Smithers too said his big surprise was the Barkerville one in this pack, which was a delicious beer too. So
yeah. I'm remembering way back how good that was. I polished that whole can off. It was so good.
Yeah, and that was only 3%. But but then you get up to the big boy here at 8, and this is a really nice beer too. So
yeah, and you're gonna savor that over the next couple of hours, right, Aaron?
I mean, yes, like it's this one's making me slow down a bit. But
yeah, it slowed me down last night. That's for sure, in a good way.
Right. Well, yeah. So wherever you are at home in your lineup of tasting stuff, there is one beer left, and we're going to get to that in a bit. But we've been talking about how beautiful the North is, and in particular Prince George. So why don't we find out what is going on? Because you can actually do something. You can be a visitor in your own backyard. Now, I've been to Prince George a couple of times, and it's a lovely place. But who better to talk about Prince George than Annie from Prince George Tourism? Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. So yeah, Prince George, it's a lovely destination. Like, what are the key things for somebody that's never been there before that are like the main draw cards, aside from the beer that we're trying, of course? So.
Well, obviously. Well, actually, there's a lot to do all year round, and we have a new blog on our website that showcases 21 things to do in Prince George. Right. But specifically for the winter, because usually it's so sunshiny and we have just beautiful snow, we have a ski hill right in town called the Heart Ski Hill, and you can get rentals. There's night skiing. There's a little park that you can do your tricks on. And also Otway is our cross-country ski facility. They hosted the 2019 Para-Nordic Ski Championships, which is a big deal for our community. And they have night skiing as well. They also have 5 kilometers of dog trails, and they have snowshoeing. So they have a little bit of everything for everybody. One of our other big features is our snow forest, or the ancient forest, also called Chanteau-Widgetit, and it's located on the territory of the Lheidli-T'enneh, our First Nation. It's 113 kilometers east of Prince George, but it is absolutely stunning. It's the only inland rainforest in the world. It has a universal boardwalk, and it is magical any time of year. So you can't miss that one.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. So definitely on my next trip up, I'm going to have to check that out. Now, currently, we still have some travel restrictions amongst the health boards in the province, but I mean, it's also nice to be a tourist in your backyard. So out of that 21 list, what are some of your favorite things to do? And then maybe something that you haven't done yourself yet that you're excited to check out in your own backyard?
One of the greatest things about our community is all the little parks that are right in the community, and Cottonwood Island Park is one of those, and it's very well known by our locals. And a little tip is, if you have some birdseed, you can just walk a few meters into the park and stick your hand out, and little chickadees will come and eat right out of your hand. And if you're really lucky and quiet, woodpecker will come too.
Right.
So that's really, really unique and special. And also in that park, one of our local carvers has put faces in the trees, and you have to go around and find them. There's about 8 or 9 trees with these special faces. So that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And also climbing the infamous cut banks is like a must do. That's sort of the local challenge.
So what is that?
So we have this unique land feature right on the Nechako River, and it's called the Cut Banks, and it's a really steep sand cliff, basically. And the challenge is that you try to get up to the top. Though there's a few ways. There's a rope that can help you. There's also some switchbacks for those of us that aren't quite as fit as others. And some folks even like ride their mountain bikes down it. We used to have an event around it, but it got a little dangerous, so that's ceased to exist. But on foot's pretty good.
We've been cooped up in our houses for a while. You know, we kind of need to change the scenery a bit. Is Prince George doing anything special to accommodate people like myself who just, you know, want to get out, or, you know, maybe even just change locations in from my place in Prince George to another place? Is there something special like that going on?
Yeah, we have put together about 8 staycation packages. So right now they're specifically targeting our locals, obviously, to explore their own backyard. But the really nice thing about the packages is they're modular, and so at any time when the restrictions are lifted and we're all allowed to travel and get out of our houses, any visitor can book these packages. And so just for a few examples, there's an ice fishing, full day guided ice fishing, including lunch and transportation, and then some après bevies and food at Trench. There's a adventure bus snowshoe package where you get on the bus, they take you out for a snowshoe. They include lunch as well, back into town, have dinner at one of the restaurants and the hotel. If adventure is not so much your style, there's a really nice wine tasting at the Northern Lights Estate Winery, plus a little plowman's lunch, and then a hotel. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody, and a good way to just explore your community. I think where folks haven't really in the past, it's always been about getting out, and so it's kind of neat to explore your own community as well. Now that you have
yeah, totally. I mean, like I went for a different walk in my neighborhood the other day and discovered something that I had no idea existed. So.
Exactly. That's the silver lining of all this, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like any one of those packages, like I'd do all 3. I'd stack them all up, stay 3 weeks, right?
Perfect. We can't wait to have you.
Well, I can't wait to travel again. So yeah, thank you so much. Where can people go to find these packages and like just kind of get some more information to explore Prince George and surrounding area?
Yeah, so the tourismpg.com website, backspace blog or backspace staycations, and then there's also a whole bunch of other information on there as well to plan your vacation or learn more. You can also follow us on social media at tourismpg and see all our amazing imagery on Instagram.
All right, and I forget the name. What is the name of your big, like Pinocchio looking guy?
Mr. PG.
Mr. PG. Say hi to Mr. PG.
Yeah, he turned 60 in 2020, so that was really exciting.
All right. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
There's Mr. PG. I don't know about you, Joe, but like once we're allowed to travel again, I don't know, maybe we should have a Bcl Trail reconnaissance mission up to PG and have some big event or something. So
sounds like a really good idea. I think we're gonna have to put that one together.
Yeah. And I will say, there is a big event for those, like a contest for you up in Prince George, part of the whole staycation thing. If you go to KiwanisAleFest.ca, there's the details on there. All you need to do, there's 9 participating establishments in Prince George. You just need to go to 4 different ones from today until March 1st. And just, you can have a beer, you can order some takeout, you can dine in if that's allowed up there, whatever's going on. Just send your receipts with a minimum value of $20 to the address that's listed on the Kiwanis AleFest site. And one lucky winner will be drawn. You'll win 2 tickets to Kiwanis AleFest 2022. You'll have 4 Kiwanis AleFest beer glasses, a $100 gift certificate at one of the participating places in Prince George. I think you picked that on your own. And that's a great little prize pack to also support these businesses, in our challenging time, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, we should all be doing that in our own communities, right? Supporting the local restaurants and breweries and doing our part. We were talking about that last night, actually, on the virtual happy hour with one of the guests. And, you can do things like buy gift cards. Even if you're not comfortable eating in a restaurant right now, you can buy gift cards to use later when they open, or obviously takeout. My family, we've been doing takeout from our favorite restaurants here in Victoria. So, like, whatever you can do to support within your own means, and that's really great. I was just thinking, beer festivals, man, can you imagine going to a beer festival? Like, holy cow. Like, I'm wearing my Victoria Beer Week shirt, kind of a little sad every time I see that, but
yeah. But soon.
It is what it is. But it's going to be, I wrote an article for the Growler about it too. It's going to be a little while yet, but eventually we're going to all be able to gather and enjoy ourselves.
Well, because Victoria Beer Week was going on, I was over on the island with you this time last year, and then it got cut off halfway through. So
right. We were halfway through. We were almost all the way done. In fact, we had 3 nights left out of 9, and now I just think it's amazing that we even were able to do anything because there was stuff happening already.
It was in the wild, yeah.
It's like, and I remember I wasn't hugging people. I was doing like,
I was doing elbows with everybody, like,
because just didn't want to get sick in any way, let alone before we even. I mean, we knew there was something coming, but we didn't know if it was there. Now we know it was probably,
and we have a lot to make up for. Yes, we have.
Great, nice to see you, Sonia. That's great. Yeah. Sonia used to work with us on the Bcl Trail. That's nice. See you again.
So, and then, Craft Beer PG, we're going to come up. We're going to have a party. So,
sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, so we have one last beer left in this pack.
Yeah. I'm not going to open it because, we've opened a lot of beer already. I'm going to save it. But it's another cool label from Smithers. Are you going to do the video?
Yeah. Let's talk to Cam and find out all about this and a little bit more behind the scenes of the collaboration beer. Okay, joining me now is the man himself up in Smithers at Smithers Brewing Company. It's Cam. How you doing, man? Great to see you.
Not too bad. Great to see you too. I mean, as this is as much as we can see each other for the foreseeable future.
Yes, but I will say thank you so much for the care packages you sent during the pandemic down. I mean, those were some tasty beers, man. So I'm
glad you
miss having your beer on a regular basis. So.
Yeah, I miss having everybody else's beer on a regular basis, but I'm glad you enjoyed them, and let me know when you're running dry. We'll send you another.
All right, but people, including myself, have some tasty beers in the pack. But you have 2 beers, right? So let's talk about those.
Yeah, so we as Smithers Brewing Company contributed our own beer, and then the problem of the northern brewing scene is that we're all such good friends that even though the pack can only fit 8 beers, there were more than 8 breweries that wanted to be involved, and so credit goes out to Zach at Mighty Peace. This was kind of his idea, but he asked if he and Iron Road and us could do a 3-way collab at our facility, and that way Iron Road, Mighty Peace also get represented. So even though there are 8 beers, there are 9 different breweries represented. Which one would you like me to start with?
Well, let's start with your Smithers beer first that you did, and then tell us a little history of Smithers. How long you been open now?
We opened up in June 2018. And so, we got about a year and 3/4 of like real good business before the things kind of went south on us. But yeah, no, it's like I said it in the interview I did with you right when we opened, that the community support up here has been overwhelming, and that still remains true today, even given the present circumstances. The community's really rallied behind us, and though our tasting room has been periodically closed and opened and is properly social distanced, people find other ways to support us. Namely, they go to our local liquor stores and make sure that those shelves stay empty, and I stay hard at work refilling them.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I mean, did you already had a canning line pre-pandemic too, right? Or did you get that?
We did. Yeah, no, we did. Up here, mobile canning lines really aren't an option. There's just too much distance between the northern breweries to make mobile canning feasible, and so every brewery kind of figures out its own packaging system. So that was built into our business plan right from the start, and we had our canning line operational about 7 or 8 months after we opened up.
All right, great. So and you got your beer start in Prince Rupert at Wheelhouse, actually, right?
I did. I was a pretty avid home brewer when I moved to Prince Rupert, and went in and the guys took me under their wing. I went in and basically just kind of pitched working for them. It's like, hey, I kind of know how to make beer, like looking to go pro one day. Can I join your team? A offer like that down south, you'd get laughed out of the place. There are a lot of home brewers down south, and there are a lot of very good brewers down south, and it's a little overpopulated. But up here in the north, I didn't know it at the time, but Wheelhouse was looking for help, and then and so I walked in, already knew how to make beer, just didn't know how to do it on a large scale, and they filled in the gaps. And I wouldn't be where I am today without them.
All right, and so let's talk about the beer that you did. Like, what's the beer and what's the story behind it?
Right. So those of you who attended Kiwanis AleFest, I think it was 2 years ago now, might remember this beer. So it didn't have a name at that point. We've now named it Tropical Thunder. And it is a heavy-hitting mango passion fruit milkshake double IPA. The name kind of just says it all. It's big, it's boozy, it's fruity, it's somehow both bitter and sweet. It's not for the faint of heart, and unfortunately not for the lactose intolerant either. There is a scientific reason we throw lactose in beer. It's not just because it's trendy. It's the only sugar that brewers can't ferment. So lactose intolerant folks and vegan folks, we're not picking fights with you. It's microbiology.
But have you made a similar beer so the lactose and vegans among us can enjoy it?
Well, we do have like a number of different fruited beers. Something similar to this, truthfully, no. I don't think.
All right, challenge. That's my challenge for you. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. All right. I'll do some science and try and work that into the schedule. So this is our first time putting this beer in cans. When Kiwanis approached us with this idea, we A, thought it was awesome, and B, figured it would be a perfect opportunity to put this beer into cans for the first time, because it was very popular at that Kiwanis AleFest event. It sold out quicker than we were expecting. We actually had to reserve some for the last of the 3 tastings just to make sure everybody got to try it, because it would have sold out in that middle tasting. So now, this is a way to make sure that everybody gets a little bit of it. We're excited to have it in production now, and well after this tasting pack is out and has been enjoyed by all, it is a beer that we do hope to produce again and sell in 4-packs as we do with all of our other beers.
Like on a seasonal basis, not a year-round basis.
Oh yeah, definitely seasonal. This is a remarkably expensive beer to make. It couldn't be part of our regular lineup.
Right. And then tell us about the collaboration. Like, how could you collaborate in COVID times, really, to make a beer?
Yeah.
Like, what challenges did you face there?
Well, the biggest and most obvious one was we weren't all in the same room.
Yeah.
Zach from Mighty Peace, the head brewer there, he did drive out, and we were together here, wearing masks, socially distanced, back before back when you could have a small bubble.
Yep.
But Aaron and Stefan from Iron Road, we're texting back and forth up to the brew date. Like, are you still coming? They're like, yeah. Are you still coming? Yeah. Are you still coming? And then the numbers started spiking, and then we're like, you're probably not coming, are you? And they're like, nah, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
So they, much like we're doing now, they sat down in front of a computer, and we propped a computer up in the brew house, and the 4 of us kind of got together and talked and joked and laughed. And every once in a while, I'd get up and go flip, a switch or empty a mash. Well, Zach emptied the mash tun, as guest brewers always do.
Yep.
But the most important part of collabs, as far as like the actual operational side of things, is everybody approaches making beer in a different way. Like I kind of have a set. What's the word I'm looking for? I kind of have like a formula for when I'm building beer recipes, and I try and vary that. But at the end of the day, there's only so eclectic that my taste can be. So when you get guys like Zach and Aaron and Stefan together, we all approach brewing beer a little differently. And so it really was in kind of the recipe formulation. And what about it? What if we did this? And what if we threw that in? And how about instead of doing this, we do that? Like that, from an operational standpoint, that's what makes a collab a collab. It's a beer that none of the 4 of us would have been able to put together single-handedly.
And I wonder if, I'm pretty sure you must be BC's first Zoom beer. Maybe, right? So.
Maybe. I don't like, I follow a lot of breweries on Instagram. I can't remember if I've seen them do this before or after. I know there still have been collabs in the age of COVID, and I'm really glad to see that. Most of them were done before the real severe restrictions were put in place, and you could be in the same room with people you don't live with. Maybe we are. I don't want to claim we are and be wrong, but I think, I think it's part of what makes this the new normal.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a fantastic label. Who designed it?
We have our graphic designer. His name is Ronnie, like Smithers Brewing Company. He lives in Vancouver. He does all of our labels, and the beer is a dry hopped, citrus fruited sour, with the idea that it's supposed to taste a lot like a particular fruit beverage that I maybe shouldn't name for legal purposes.
We might have fond memories from our childhood. Yeah.
There you go. And so we just kind of like, hey, make it look like that, but don't make it look like you've made it look like that kind of thing. And he did a great job.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cam, for your time. Looking forward to trying these beers. And if people want to find out more about you and Smithers Brewing Company, what's the best way to learn about that and get a hold of you guys?
Well, we're all over the typical social media avenues. Our Instagram handle is @Smithers Brewing. Our website is smithersbrewing.com. And our Facebook is Smithers Brewing as well, Smithers Brewing Co. And hit us up. All of our contact information is on our website. If you'd rather speak to a real person, you can find our number there. Give us a call. And yeah, we look forward to seeing all of you when it's, safe.
Yeah, I know. Like, that can be like a dog off a leash as soon as we can, and come back up and have your beers again in your tasting room, man. I cannot wait.
Well, let me know. I'll keep some cold for you.
All right. Well, thanks, Cam.
Cheers.
Cam. So nice to have him on. So, yeah.
Another great interview. Good job, Aaron. I want to say you did a great job putting this all together again tonight.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, no, and thanks for everybody for making the time. And this is great. So, I'm sad that there's 3 beers not open here, but I want to enjoy them. I'm saving them because I want to enjoy them. So
exactly, and we're being responsible. Like we've encouraged all the people watching to be responsible too.
Mm-hmm. If I was allowed to have a big group of people around, we'd all be having tasters, having a great time. So
exactly, yeah. But this way you get to spread it out over enjoy it over a longer period of time.
Yep, and also, by the way, this video becomes on demand as soon as the stream is done, so you can go back and watch and get some notes. So yeah.
Yeah. If you want to see me realize what I means, then
which I'm still working on. It's a big beer, man. It's a big beer.
It's a big beer. It's a delicious beer. I poured out the rest of, or poured into my glass the rest of the Uncle Ben's because it's a tasty Scottish ale. I'm really enjoying that.
Mm-hmm. So, yep, cool. Thanks, Matt. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. There's a lot of people on the chat. This is great.
Yeah, no, it's been great to see everybody. I've been hosting virtual tasting events. Actually, my first one I hosted was with Wheelhouse back last May. Because they were one of the first breweries to ship beer around the province. So, it's great. So
I'm going to test that. I'm going to test that out. I just put an order in from Wheelhouse, so I'll see how quickly I get my order.
Well, shipped on Thursdays. That's what Craig said. So.
Okay, right. So I got to wait a little while then. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody. This is great.
Yeah. Wow, whoa, everything's going over. There we go. That's the one I wanted to put up. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Leslie. Appreciate it. And Adam, great to have you here, man. Thanks for all the chats. And yep, thanks, Aaron. Thanks for joining in. And big thanks to the organizers here. So, yep. Hey, thank you so much, everybody. By the way, I refreshed the page. We hit it. We hit 20% of the goal during this live stream for Ronald McDonald House. So if you're getting here late, there's the little short link I've created. Whatever you can, it's all added up here. We started the night off at 9% of the goal. We're finishing. Well, hang on. Let me refresh it right now. because it was 23% is what we're finishing this live stream with. So
right on. That's
we've gone
great.
from 9 to 23% of the goal. So thank you everyone for donating. So the links can like the short link there. You can go to KiwanisAleFest.ca. Links also there. Details about that contest if you live in Prince George as well, to win tickets for next year's in-person festival, as well as the playlist that the breweries have put together. So yeah, no, thank you everybody. And Joe, Bcl Trail, where can people go to find out about that?
bcltrail.ca on the web, and we've got a very, very active social media manager, Yasmin, who does a great job at Instagram and all the other channels. So she's always putting great stuff up on there. So check it out. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you everybody.
Talk about the app. Sorry, we've got an app too.
Oh yeah, you got an app because you can get stuff with the app.
Yeah. So when you visit a brewery, you have the app. You check in at the brewery, you get points, and then you can redeem points and get stuff. It's just amazing.
You get coasters and like some glasses are in there too. Like there's a whole prize level, right? So
that's great deals for merch and all kinds of things like that. So it's awesome.
Well, hey, you at home, thank you so much again. Thank you for being, safe, responsible. Like, oh man, like really looking forward to coming back and having beers with all of you soon. Everybody in the North, fantastic.
Yeah. You've been doing a great job for a year now, almost a year now. So we know what to do. We keep doing it until as long as we have to. Luckily, we have tools to connect like this.
Yeah, but you can follow me along at Cascadian.beer is the website, at Cascadian Beer Podcast on Instagram, at Cascadian Beer on Facebook and Twitter. I do have some more virtual tastings coming up in the next month with some breweries that I'm very excited about. So we're working out the final details, but we'll make those announcements. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much. Have fun, be safe. And until next time, remember, support your local.